Stop complaining! Go home! The only person who's going to enjoy this circus is me!
Hey everybody, welcome back. David Eon here. Right now I am open by chance, and what I am opening up with for you here today is, as you can see by the box, the Mondo 1/6 scale. Who is it? Skeletor. Finally, Skeletor has been released. And down here, that is actually the exclusive head that came with the Mondo exclusive version of the He-Man that I had done a review of previously. And this is the exclusive version of Skeletor. And the difference is, of course, that you can get the exclusive if you order it directly from Mondo. Go ahead and start opening this up. This box has already been split. You order it directly from Mondo instead of going through another source like Sideshow or Entertainment Earth, and you get extra pieces. And in this case, you get the Cosmic Key. With Skeletor and with He-Man, you got an extra head for the upcoming Skeletor figure. You see he's got a movable jaw. It's kind of cool. And this was a long time coming. Let's get the bag off here, because it was delayed for a couple of months. Everyone was waiting forever for these figures anyways, because Mondo's been teasing at shows for a couple of years, actually. Look at that box art. It's Snake Mountain, obviously. Let me just rotate this around a little bit so you can see all of it. Mondo, of course, really well known for graphic designs. They do posters and they do vinyl records. I really like this box, and this is just the sleeve. This isn't even the box yet. But they teased at conventions for a couple of years that, yeah, we're gonna, that is really good detail. I like this. I like the color too. That they're going to be having a 6-scale Masters of the Universe series, and they showed prototypes at the Comic-Cons and then just never released the figures. Let's take the sleeve off. Now the figures are coming out. Look at that. Finally, and this is the second one in the series, the Skeletor, aka Keldor. Look at that. That's really nice. It's got a kind of a 70s vibe to it. I like that. But there was production delays with the release of Skeletor. He-Man came out right on time. Skeletor, not so much. And a color version on the back. Look at this. Really nice graphics, really rich color on this. So Skeletor got held up for a while. And next is Faker. Faker should be coming out in a few months. Pre-orders are already closed on it. And so my next review in this series, of course, will be the Faker. I really like what they've done with the box. I want to display the box. And I'm also glad that this isn't all beat to death, because you see the type of shipping carton it comes in, just like this. This is how it was mailed. And my He-Man box has some crunched corners. Let's open the flap here. And there's Skeletor on the inside and a crest. And of course we will be taking this out of the box and examining it, and then he will be added to our private museum. It's hard to see him through the cellophane there, but we are going to go ahead and break him out of the box and take a good look at him and his accessories and test his articulation and posability.
Yes, the royal family arranged a week of free performances for the enjoyment of the people of their kingdom.
Enjoyment? I don't want anyone to have any enjoyment except for me.
And here we are back with our Mondo 1/6 scale Skeletor action figure. People have been waiting a long time for a 6-scale action figure of Masters of the Universe. Of course, Mattel, Matty Club. Let's take a look at some of these accessories. It came with a lot of stuff. Matty Club did 6-scale that kind of looked like Gentle Giants, where it's a reproduction of their originals done in like a 12-inch version. There's the extra head, or I guess faceplate, that came with the He-Man, and of course the jaws open and close, and he's got light up eyes. And I guess this is supposed to look sort of like the Filmation version, but Filmation didn't have eyes, so I'm a little confused about this head. This is more along the lines of the original comic book, and this is a complete head that can be changed out. That's actually kind of neat, kind of kiddish looking, but I like that. And then over here, you've got the dog, the like android dog, and from the, where was it from? It was the He-Man She-Ra Christmas special, where Skeletor got stuck with 2 Earth children and this dog. And I think it's really neat that he comes with the dog. That's an interesting accessory. And as I pointed out, there are a lot of accessories with this figure. Lots of things to decorate him with. The Havoc staff, which is very heavy actually. And that's one of my biggest complaints about 6th scale and 12th scale figures. And give us a good close-up here. Is that the accessories are so incredibly flimsy that I'm afraid they're going to break. Like I have the QMX Wesley Dread Pirate Roberts from The Princess Bride, and his sword is so thin that I'm afraid to put it in his hand. It bends so much when you try to put it into his fist that I was like, forget it, I'm not going to use the sword. But these are solid. That is a thick piece. There is a cape, and this is very thick also. This material is very thick on this cape. It's big too. Look at this. Trying to back up here. I can't back up enough. And it's a thick material. It feels like the kind of cloth that jeans would be made out of. And I don't recall that it said that a cape was coming with this. So it was a pleasant little surprise inside the package. Just 2 tiers of clamshells for all the accessories. Extra sets of hands, of course. We got 2 gripping hands because of course the fists are on Skeletor. 2 gripping hands for holding his weapons and accessories. And 2 reaching or clutching hands. Not too much detail on the hands, but it's good enough. It looks alright to me. There is some detail. You can see like some veins and some tendons in there. It's really not bad at all. I mean, I'm just saying because I've seen higher detail on hands for action figures, but I like these. I think they did a pretty decent job, and they're kind of rubbery too. They're not like really stiff, so you know, sometimes if the hands are stiff, you worry about breaking them when you put accessories in their hands. The Cosmic Key, which I believe was the bonus accessory for ordering this through Mondo. Mondo does like a 30-day window, 27 or 30 days, 27 to 30 days, where an exclusive item will come with your figure if you order it directly from Mondo and you pay up front, because you have to pay up front when you order from them. And it's a $5 difference. I mean, if you get Skeletor from like Sideshow or Entertainment Earth, it's going to be like $160. It's $165 to get it from Mondo with the extra piece. May as well pay the extra $5. There's a bone sword. And again, this is a solid rubber piece. A battle axe that is kind of reminiscent of the original Mattel axe with the big ball on the top, except that this is detailed instead of being one color. I like this. One half of the power sword, but with a ram's head on the top. And of course a sheath for the power sword with a bit of a snake on the bottom of the sheath. And if you recall, He-Man's battle sword sheath or power sword sheath had a little battle cat on the bottom. And these clips turn so that they can fit into the baldric. The baldric, of course, being the harness that's on Skeletor's chest. Now we'll take a good look at Skeletor here, aka Keldor. Spoiler alert. I like that head though. And there, of course, is no eyes. Just a faint red splotch there. Overall, I think he looks really good. And we'll be taking him off the stand here in a moment to test his articulation. And they went with the barefoot look instead of shoes. Because, of course, in the filmation, he had on boots. But in the comic and on the action figure, he had these kind of webbed feet. Funny thing about Keldor, if you know the history of the Masters of the Universe, in theory, Keldor is the rightful heir to the throne of Eternia, which is what started the whole nonsense in the first place, which led to Skeletor being severely wounded in an attempt to save his life, which is why he has a skull for a face. So in essence, Skeletor's not the bad guy. He's evil now, but he was just trying to reclaim a throne that he was essentially refused, that was his right, because they didn't like the color of his skin. Blue people are not to be trusted on Eternia. So it's racism, quite frankly. He was good enough for Randor's father to sleep with, Keldor's mother that is, but not good enough to be a prince of Eternia. And he was the firstborn son, so he was like, I'm not having that. I want my rightful place. And he got critically wounded, and that led to him dealing with Hordak and losing his face, if I remember the history correctly. Now let's go ahead and take him off of here. He's on one of these little ball hugger stands. And actually these stands from Mondo, they don't hold up very well. This pops out pretty easy. And there you go. That's what I was talking about. It pops out pretty easy. So it has some difficulty holding up the figure because this is actually a very heavy figure. Skeletor weighs in at about roughly 1¼ pounds without his accessories. He's got some tilt. It goes side to side, up and down. It's limited. It's limited, but you know, it's pretty thick because of this hood. But it's good enough. You can get the basic articulation out of. I know you're hearing a lot of creaking. I'm not hurting it. It's just that it's really close to the camera now, so you can hear the joints. Chest movement is kind of limited, up and down, or forward and backward rather. Side to side. Side to side's actually a lot better. You can see that pivoting right above his abdominal muscles there. One thing I didn't like about the He-Man that I don't like about this one is that split. That split between the chest and the abdomen. Although, for the most part, you won't see it because the baldric covers it up. Arm articulation on the He-Man was pretty good. I imagine it should be just as good here because it's pretty much the same mold with a few changes. You know, the arms and torso and legs should be the same. But yeah, really good arm articulation, hand articulation, wrist movement limited. It popped right out. Hold on. And one thing that Mondo's done differently with these also is, you just saw that, I may as well go ahead and pull this one out and show you, is the hand is actually connected to the joint and you see it's a nice thick peg, so you don't get that double really skinny peg, and when you try to pull it out, the wrist comes out, because on these hands they all come with a wrist peg. Everybody's got a wrist peg. It's not like on Hot Toys where you pull the hand out and the wrist peg comes out with it, and then you got to wrestle to get that peg out of the hand so you can change it without actually breaking it. Also, I'll show you these gauntlets. They should come off. They come off a He-Man. Yeah, there you go. So you can remove the gauntlets if you want to. I prefer to keep the gauntlets on. This piece right here, the loin, it can come off, and you can do the classic furry underwear bit if you want to. So that option is available. Twists at the waist. Twists at the waist. It makes for an awkward look though. Split, it's not bad. Forward and backward. Actually, that's not bad for forward and backward for a 6 scale figure either. A lot of 6 scale figures are very stiff. Knees, double jointed at the knees, and it popped out. Look at that. But fortunately, it's a peg, so I should be able to insert that right back in there. And it does. But it's a double jointed knee. It's just stiff, and I had that same problem with the He-Man. I think it'll loosen up, just got to be cautious with it. And you know, funny enough, it was I believe it was the left leg on the He-Man that I had a lot of trouble with also. But there you go, double jointed knees, and it's got a good look in the front. It doesn't look too chunky. Come on. And again, I'm right up in the camera, so it sounds worse than it is as far as the grinding. Also, the arm swivel is really good here, although this is only a single joint in the elbow. There is a little bit of a paint error here, but you know, I'm not that concerned about that. Calf twist. Foot articulation, very limited. It moves side to side and up and down, but only to a very limited degree. So let's go ahead, oh you know what, let's try swapping hands out. I already did just pop a hand in and out anyway, so you already kind of saw that, but we'll do another one. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. And of course this jaw is articulated, although you can't open it very much because there's limited space on account of the hood. And you know, they gave you the exclusive faceplate. And I can't get it out. You can see, I think you can see, the peg under there is like a little white or light blue peg, and it's supposed to slide onto it. You see the hole on this one, but I can't get it out. He comes with an extra head, so I'll go ahead and remove his head. Decapitated Skeletor there. And see if doesn't want to come out. If there's a way to get this out, I can't figure it out. It won't come off. The hood is the top part of the hood is holding it down, and I don't want to pop the jaw out. Yeah, I can't get under it to change out the faceplate. Well, that's kind of disappointing because I was wanting to see how he looked like this, but it won't come off. And I'll put the comic head on. Head transition doesn't look like it'll be too much of a problem. Maybe. Get the peg to stand up straight. There it is. It's a little stiff, but that looks kind of silly. I really wanted to try the green head, but I guess I can't. But let's go ahead and get him posed and see how he looks.
With this staff, I can rescue Faker from the bottomless gorge. But first, you and I have some unfinished business.
And here we are back with our 1/6 scale Mondo exclusive Skeletor. And I've got him so that it kind of looks like he's walking. The stand is holding up pretty well so far, although I don't like those types of stands that go up between the legs. I know people like them. I call them ball hugger stands. I know people like them because they can be kind of hidden, but at the same time, they tend to be kind of flimsy. I couldn't resist giving him the dog. I think it looks pretty good overall. I do like what Mondo has been doing with the 6 scale figures. I know there was some complaints from like diehard Motu fans about the He-Man, that they could have done this and they could have done that, and well, you know, you can't make everybody happy. You can't make everybody happy, but I'm happy with this, and I'm looking forward to getting the Faker here soon, and I'll do a review of that as well, and I will be ordering Merman, and there are rumors that there is going to be a Man-at-Arms after that. And I saw a prototype for it, but then I can't find the image for it anymore, or else I would have shown it on our weekly roundup. We do a weekly roundup on this show, on this channel, if you haven't seen it. Why don't we go ahead and move him down to our private museum and put him in his rightful place next to He-Man. And there he is, Skeletor, right next to the Mondo exclusive He-Man. There's He-Man. I know a lot of people didn't like his face mold. They said he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, someone on one of the comments. He comes with guns and a lot of accessories. I think they did a good job on He-Man, actually. And there's the old Mattel head, and there's a cat sneaking up on me. Hey, Crumb Snatcher. Big story behind why he's called that, but back to our feature. Skeletor and He-Man, and there's Skeletor in his rightful place. Plenty of room still on the shelf, as we will soon be putting Faker and then Merman. Unfortunately, Neo will have to move. Sorry, Neo. To make space. Could put him up here, but it's hard to put him up on one of the floating shelves because of the size of that base. But I hope you found this helpful. I hope that if you were interested in the Skeletor, you now know everything that you need to know. Please give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. Check out some of the other videos. We do a lot of reviews and we do a lot of other things. We will be doing tours here soon of the museum room. We've been rebuilding it from scratch. It was a bonus room in a new house that was completely destroyed and had to be rebuilt from the ground up. It's a big bonus room. Just pan a little bit here. It's my wife's side of the room. She's setting up. Still working on it. There's a lot to do. But yeah, we'll be doing tours in here soon. We do a weekly roundup. We do discussions. We do toy hunts. Lots of things. There's the QMX Dread Pirate Roberts I was talking about, and that sword is like paper. I'm afraid to even touch it. But anyway, once again, please like, share, and subscribe. Find us on Instagram, Open by Chance on Instagram. And we hope to see you again soon. Thanks for watching.
He-Man again.
He's too smart for us, Skeletor.
For you, Beast Man, but not for me. I have a plan to stop him for good.